My name is Bob Giuda, and I'm a candidate for the 2nd Congressional District seat in the United States House from New Hampshire. I'd like to spend a few minutes tonight talking with you about the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, and in a large sense, the global war on terrorism. Our President has chosen to rename the global war on terrorism Overseas Contingency Operations, a somewhat nebulous name that doesn't really give any definition to what our mission is. As presently being executed, the war on terror will not produce a victory. And the reason is this, that our troops are fighting a war using the technologies of the future, but the strategies of the past. We are engaging with divisions and battalions and regiments in uniform, an enemy that has no national boundaries, wears no uniform, and has no allegiance to any particular culture or country. And so what we do essentially is to anchor ourselves and our operations in one geographic area while we're trying to chase down an enemy who can move at will. Al-Qaeda has moved before and will move again. They continue to shift between different countries in the Middle East and Africa and South Asia. And they do so with a great deal of ease because, again, they wear no uniforms, they carry no nationality. They just move as the need suits them to either establish new terrorist cells or carry out more atrocities. So what can we do as a nation for a strategy? What we need to do is to convert the global war on terrorism to a global war on terrorists. By doing that, we remove from our armed forces the mission of nation building, which is not what they were designed for, and although they do a tremendous job, it takes their focus off the combat operations that are required to go after the people who perpetrate and plan the atrocities. When we focus on terrorists, we then enable the military to use its formidable capabilities to go after the people, the enemy, who are causing the terrorist issues around the world in many different countries. We also free ourselves as a country from the tremendous economic costs of supporting full-fledged conventional forces in far-flung parts of the world. And that, again, makes this war much more sustainable because it is a war that we must fight and ultimately we must win, however long it takes. When our troops do this, we then enable ourselves to focus the talents and the skills and the weapons and the technologies of teams like SEAL teams, our special operations groups, and the Delta Force, all of which are specifically tuned in and trained for this type of operation. We need to increase those forces. We need to increase our airlift capability, which is being hit hard by the ongoing wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and enable these special troops to go any place in the world on short notice. An additional part of this must be to enlist the support of other nations. And in a war on terrorism, or a war on terrorists, we can have no neutrality. As President Bush said, a nation is either with us or they are not. I would propose, as a condition of accepting foreign aid, that a nation be required to enable our forces to operate within their borders so that when credible intelligence is derived of a terrorist cell, whether it be Al-Qaeda or any other group, our special forces can move rapidly, effectively, and without inhibition to engage, attack, and destroy the terrorists who continue to perpetrate these atrocities around the world. The cost of fighting this war currently is running about $12 billion a month, a significant contribution to the national deficit and to our burgeoning national debt. Again, if we refine the mission to a global war on terrorists, focus the military on what it's trained to do, we can substantially reduce that cost, extend the capability to prosecute this war in far-flung parts of the world, and hopefully achieve an outcome that will see the elimination of terrorist groups in the planet. My name is Bob Giuda. I'm running for the United States House in the 2nd District of New Hampshire, and I would appreciate your support in the coming primary and general elections. My name is Bob Giuda, and I approve this message.